I'm in me mum's car, broom, broom, and I'm just about to pull off me Michinoku driveway before heading down the A-Town down and then on to Route 619 before finally getting myself on the road to WrestleMania 40. Let's predict every single WWE champion heading into and then out of WrestleMania 40 for the absolute crack of it. Let me know how and why you're disagreeing with everything I'm about to say in the comments section down below. We'll kick things off with the women's tag team titles, mainly because there's a chance they won't even be on the show, just like they weren't this year in 2023. I'm predicting that Chelsea Green and Piper Niven won't even walk into WrestleMania 40 weekend with the titles because of many reasons, even though I think that's utter bollocks because Chelsea's entertaining every single time she's on our screens. She's a 2000 Chris Jericho here in 2023. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is the creatine they've slipped into this metaphorical bottle of water I'm drinking right now, but I'm predicting the upstart team of Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree will be the champions walking into WrestleMania as we continue on the story of Maxine becoming one of the biggest and hardest shooters the business has ever seen. But then, at WrestleMania, the prophecy will be fulfilled as the witches of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn will capture the titles they've had hostage for bare time now with that curse they claim to have put on them a long time ago. A win which will see them dance like the dogs that bark under the pale moonlight or whatever bollocks they like to say. But on a more serious note, how can they claim the witches have put a curse over the titles, which is why most of the reigns are ending in injury, and then not follow up on that? They can't do that forever, can they? So it will happen at WrestleMania. Next, we must ask if the men's tag team titles will still be unified by the time WrestleMania season rolls around, and since there's been no indication there will be separate titles for Raw and for SmackDown, I'm going to say yeah, they will still be unified. One thing that is for certain in my mind is that the Judgment Day will be walking into WrestleMania as the champions, because what will Raw be without a babyface cutting a promo before being interrupted by you know the start of their theme? Raw would be rubbish without it. I'm predicting the dissension that's going on inside the Famalan from the clubhouse will rumble on until WrestleMania rolls around, where whatever combination of the goth lads will lose to Bobby Lashley's boys, the Street Profits. WWE, of course, tried to turn the Streety P's heel with their presentation since aligning with Big Bob, and it has not worked because they are that bloody good as a threesome. The lads are already getting massively cheered, and they haven't really done anything yet as of me standing here right now talking in your direction. So imagine the reaction they'll get when they beat some of the biggest heels on the roster. It'll be bloody massive, bigger than Big Bob himself. Now I fear for Gunther when it comes to the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, because a big pay-per-view like that feels like the kind of place a record-breaking title reign should come to an end, especially if another record-breaking reign won't come to an end on that same night, but more on that later. So, attention turns to who will be the man to beat the Ring General on the grandest stage of them all. Point at the lovely sign in the sky. And as I'm stood here in December, it doesn't feel like there is a babyface on that level to get a win of that magnitude. Chad Gable certainly felt like he was getting there in the summer, but his demotion to the role of comedy relief in the lower mid-card has been a sad thing to watch. This means I'm assuming somebody is going to get a massive showing at the Royal Rumble, and maybe even a strong showing on top of that inside the men's Elimination Chamber match as well, before going on to WrestleMania to have his tits slapped off his chest. And I'm saying this, all of this, and I'm still struggling to think of anyone who fits that description. But because it's a secondary title, even though it's maybe the most prestigious in the wrestling world today, and because it's one he still hasn't held during his illustrious run, am I really going to stand here and look at you in the eye and say a returning Sheamus will be the one to get the job done? The crowd will be with him. It'll be a class match where somebody presumably will have to called the police, in the words of Titus O'Neil. So why the hell not? I really can't think who will take the title off of Gunther, but having it happen at WrestleMania, it's the place it should happen, so I'm gonna go for Sheamus. It's the worst prediction of the video. Please let me know who you think will take the title off of Gunther at WrestleMania, because I haven't got a clue. Logan Paul's United States title will stay on Logan Paul's United States shoulder until WrestleMania, because having that thing on him just makes all the sense in the world from a brand exposure standpoint. I hate myself for saying that. Yes, he'll have a big match with the winner of the tournament he's set to determine his next challenger, which might have already happened by the time this video comes out, but that doesn't matter, because while my heart would love to see LA Knight, get the big win over Logan Paul at WrestleMania, I think the whole injury angle with Kevin Owens was a reason for KO and Logan Paul to sow the seeds for a WrestleMania feud. And while Owens is still in the tournament, as of me stood here looking at you, I'm predicting he won't win the thing, but he will be the one KOing Logan Paul at WrestleMania to become the new champion, because what a moment that will be. So cathartic, so lovely. So yeah, Kevin Owens will yeah. This one makes me a little bit sick to say, because it feels like her reign has barely got going as of me standing here in December, but I don't think Io Sky will be women's champion too far into 2024. Somewhere along the line, I think either Charlotte Flair or Bianca Belair will take the title from Io and walk into WrestleMania 40 with it, while maybe Io goes off into a feud with babyface Bayley, a freshly babyface Bayley I should say, because that one has been bubbling under the surface for a little time now. And facing, let's go with Bianca, because of the recent-ish injury to Charlotte Flair maybe scuppering WrestleMania plans. It will be Jade Cargill, who will be, in turn, on the receiving end of a massive rub and star-making performance from Bianca to walk out of WrestleMania the WWE Women's Champion. Right, that'll happen. I just hope that WWE don't make Jade one of the roster too soon. She's got it. We all know she has it. And hopefully they'll keep it as long as it can be a thing. Jade will beat Bianca. Oh, now I would hate to be anyone going up against Rhea Ripley. Heel, face, tweener, whatever you are, you can guarantee that Rhea is more popular than you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So surely a WrestleMania 40 worthy opponent for the mother needs to be a lady who has an equal standing in the popularity stakes. Otherwise, a potential loss for the mother would go down like a lead balloon. So in my mind, there's only one answer for the women's world title match, and that's to repeat a match that only ever happened once on television ever, all the way back on November the 20th 2019. That was an episode of NXT, by the way, and that would be to have Becky Lynch be the man to take on the Mammy. And because Becky has been pretty generous in trying to make new stars in 2023, I'm going to see no reason why Mammy can't retain her title before going on to hold that thing until we're calling her Grandmammy. It's a long time. Now, I had this whole thing mapped out where I was going to tell you that WWE were going to have Seth Rollins lose the title to Damian Priest in a cash, and that would also involve CM Punk somehow, and then Priest will then drop it to Drew McIntyre after the stuff that happened between Damian and McIntyre in the build-up to Survivor Series. And then, because of a random promo bare time ago on Raw, I was going to try and sound all big and Bertie bollocked and clever by telling you that Sami Zayn, a man that Drew McIntyre labelled as not world champion material, would take the title from Drew and have a very nice reign. However, I am stood here just after NXT deadline, and from what we've seen so far in CM Punk's fleeting time in WWE since his big return to Survivor Series, I think I need to backtrack on that potential take I was going to make and just say that a Seth Rollins versus CM Punk WrestleMania feud is going to have the world title. I was going to say it doesn't need the world title, but based on what we've seen so far, I think it's going to have the world title. And you know what? Because the big gold shiny belt is there, excuse me, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I reckon CM Punk will walk out of WrestleMania 40 as your world heavyweight champion on Monday Night Raw. Oh God, I'm sure it'll all end well. There's no easy way to say this, but Roman Reigns is going to walk into WrestleMania 40 as your Uwu champion. And even though his reign should have ended at WrestleMania 39, I mean, the booking of the Bloodline and Cody throughout the summer and beyond proves that to be true, in my head at least. Despite all of that, Roman Reigns will walk out of WrestleMania with the Uwu still around his waist. You see, the next longest single reign Roman has to get past in the pantheon of longest reigns of all time is Hulk Hogan's, which stands at 1,474 days. Roman, by the time WrestleMania 40 Sunday rolls around, will be at 1,316, and I don't think WWE will give up on that, even though it makes the last 2 years of Cody Rhodes' run in the company a little bit sickening, as he still won't be able to finish the story. I just hope that WWE can come up with a different way for Roman Reigns to win, considering we've seen him win the same way for so long now. I don't even think he's won a different way. We all know how it goes, don't we? The referee goes down, a Bloodline member comes in, the referee gets up, there's a spear, and then Roman Reigns wins. Rinse and repeat. Hopefully it's different.